Welcome to the 40th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome to the returning viewers, and for those of you who are watching us for the first time, we're glad you could join us. Today's adventure takes us to Saginaw, Michigan. We're so excited to share that story with you, but before we begin, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
So I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing. It is the Quaker yarn stretcher by Susan Ashcroft, and this pattern is lovely because it uses stockinette and garter stitch in a way that it does exactly what it says. It stretches that one skein of yarn. So this skein of yarn is one of the Ombres by Blue Brick yarns, and it's lovely and light, and I really enjoy it.
It's different colors than you normally wear, but it looks really great.
Well,
now, is that a free pattern or a paid pattern?
No, that one is a paid for pattern.
But it looks great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And May is wearing
Cashmere.
Just saying.
I'm cashmere worthy on this episode.
You are. And the pattern is Copenhagen Calling by Isabell Kraemer.
Now, I've wore this on another episode, correct?
You have. But when I was asking you what you wanted, I gave you two to play with, and you wanted the one with cashmere. So the yarn is Sugar Bliss. No, it's not. The yarn is Sugar Bush Bliss. All right. And it has, let me see all what it is in here. It has 70% extra fine merino, 10% cashmere.
10%. Is that a good rating? 10% cashmere.
Yes,
like
and there's 20% silk.
How much cashmere can you have in an article before it?
Well, to be honest with you, you can have 100% cashmere.
Oh, really?
It's very expensive.
Well, wow. So that's why I'm only 10% cashmere worthy.
Well, we'll see.
You know,
Christmas is coming. Who knows
100% cashmere worthy, that would be something.
There you go. So
I don't know if you'd want 100% cashmere around your neck either, though. I don't know.
It's very soft.
Yeah, well, maybe too much. 10% is fine. I'm good with 10%.
Okay. So that's what we're wearing, and next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first finished object is the Minuet shawl. There is the pattern. And it's made out of Sandnes garn, Mandarin Petit. And this yarn is 100% cotton, and it feels lovely and soft. This pattern was adapted from the debut shawl by Katiuscia, Bayslak. Sorry if I'm not saying that right, but it is lovely. Now we'll have to turn it around so we get the right side forward. There we go.
The color choice was absolutely amazing. It just works very well.
I love the white with the navy, and I love the pop of purple.
Right.
Surprise!
But just even the two colors would be nice with this scarf because it's so light and lovely, and I think the navy and white would just be nice on it too. But the three colors are great too.
Yes, I really, really like it. So it does need a little bit of a block. I'm not going to overly block it, but there's just one edge that I need to work on. But that's good. So that is my first finished object. Now my second finished object is something I've been waiting forever to do. So that is the Mohair bias loop by Churchmouse Classics. So it's Churchmouse yarns and tees.
The picture on that looks very nice.
It is amazing. And I knit this in Shibui Sima and Shibui Silk Cloud, and it was those two held together.
Now it looks like there's two ways to wear this, like a cowl type thing or around your shoulders.
Yes.
And which way do you wear that?
I haven't worn it yet.
Oh, you haven't worn it?
I just finished it. I wanted to wait.
So it's it's like a big square.
Yeah, yes. It's knit on the bias, and there's a provisional cast on, and then you have to join it up. But it is so soft, and it's going to be warm and cozy. It'd be nice to fit under a coat. It would be great. And I really I was a little concerned because they said you needed to keep 5 yards of yarn to do the Kitchener stitch. And I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to manage that? But I did a little fancy fit work, and I doubled it over a couple of times going through the needle because it was so fine, and I didn't need that much yarn, so it worked out really well. There's lots of stretch to it.
Really nice color on you. Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
so very nice. So that is my second finished object. Yes. All right, my third finished object. Now we've talked about socks a lot, and this is a pair of socks that somebody recommended. And so the pattern is Wise Hilda's Basic Rib Sock. Now this is a free pattern. So if you haven't made socks before, this is a great pattern to try. Here they are.
Nice color.
Yeah, so this is called the Perfect Pair. That is that loops and threads that you can get at Michael's. Remember coupons? They're lovely. And it's a different kind of rib, so it's a 3x1 rib. And the heels, there's a few little differences to what I'm used to doing, but I really liked how this came out. The heel's nice, it fits snug. These aren't for me, but I'm really happy how they turned out. And this yarn, there's 5 or 6 different colorways in this yarn, and I've knit just about all of them.
Now you've knit this color before, just a different style of sock, correct? No?
I've knit the same yarn, but I'm not.
Same yarn, different style?
Yes, I think so.
Well, they turned out really nice.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they turned out nice. And it's nice to knit a different pattern. So, thank you, viewer, for letting me know that would be a great pattern to try, because I really, really liked it.
And you would do it again?
I absolutely would do it again. Yeah,
good.
No problem. The ribbing always helps hold the socks up, and that's the good thing. So that's that. Now, my last finished object actually is 2 finished objects. It was only supposed to be 1 in a works in progress, but it knits up so fast that it worked out well. So this is the Comfy Cozy Trio by Cozy Up Knits Designs. Our ladies from Grand Prairie. And there is, in the pattern, the reason why it's a trio, there's a hat, there are fingerless mitts, and then there is this cowl. And I had made a shawl out of Julie Aslin. It was a gradient set. I didn't like how it came out, and I'd mentioned that before. So I'd ripped it out and had all these lovely little balls of yarn. Thought, when the right project comes along, I'm going to make that. So when the Cozy Up Knits ladies mentioned this, I went, I have that yarn. It's good, and I just need a main color. So I chose to use some Cascade Heritage yarns that I also had already. And so that is a sock weight yarn.
Using up your stash is good.
Using up my stash. That's exactly what I did.
Nice.
And so there's the hat. Now I've tried it with a pom-pom, and I think because it's fingering weight, I don't know if it has, either I haven't found the right pom-pom, or it just doesn't need a pom-pom. But I love this. I've had it on. I won't do it now because then
you'll mess up your hair.
Mess up my beautiful hair. So, I don't know about that, but anyway. So that's it. So I really like how it feels.
It is nice on.
And this cowl is nice and deep. And it looks almost like it's all made out of the same blue yarn, but it isn't. And it gets a little bit darker up top. I wanted to have that more around my face. So this gets all bunched up, and I've tried it on with a jean jacket in similar fashion to what you're doing, and I really like how it looks.
Nice.
It looks really nice. So those are my finished objects, and May, let's talk about your finished objects.
Okay, those are great finished objects, by the way.
Thank you.
Really like them.
Thank you. I'm really happy with them.
Yes, well, the one finished object is behind us, and that's going to be the theme because of our Michigan road trip. And so this reminded us of Michigan. This is the painting that I painted, but that will be behind us for our whole Michigan. Because
I think that's a great idea.
Doesn't that look like what it was like?
Yeah,
when
it
we
is
drove
exactly.
there?
Yep.
Yes.
And the nice thing is when the colors are that bright, even on a rainy day, it's beautiful.
It was just a fantastic trip. Then I made these little men. I don't know what you call them, little snowmen, I guess.
Yes.
And there's little Hershey chocolate bars in there. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh my goodness, how did you do that?
Well, you just get a sticker, and I drew there's actually templates you can get to draw them on. Yeah. But I didn't have a template, so I just drew the little nose and the eyes on there. And then I drew it on a sticker. We pull the sticker off, put the sticker on the little Hershey's bar. The little hats are little dollar store mitts. I just cut the fingers off.
No.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. And
put them as hats, and then I just glued a little with the hot glue gun, glued that on there.
And I love this added touch to your packaging. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Now what you can do to hide the staple, you can get another sticker and you could print on there something like a personal message if you wanted to. Like May's
Creations or Happy Holidays.
Or Happy Holidays to Colleen.
Oh, that would be great.
And then you could personalize.
Chocolate. It's mine.
Personalized, but little Hershey's, I thought was a cute little thing to put when we have dinner or something, put at people's place. So.
Oh, I think that would be lovely.
Yeah. And another, because Christmas is coming and it's around the corner, I saw one of these at the Tim Hortons, the donut shop, coffee shop, donut shop. And what they are those little pots, little clay pots. And there's five of them. And you just paint the little clay pots, black and blue and red, the beige and the black. And then you glue the pots together, spray them, and then you just add all the little accoutrements.
Listen to you, my goodness.
Accessories.
Yeah, that's right.
And Colleen was nice enough to have black yarn to make the pom-pom. So thank you for contributing to this.
You're welcome. I love them. And what kind, I'm just going to ask you what kind of glue you use, because...
well, I did start using, for this I use Gorilla Glue for the pots. Very carefully, because Gorilla Glue has caused me some issues in the past.
Yes, it has.
But I just put a little bit on the pots.
Right.
But I tried to use Gorilla Glue for the little accessories, but it was too much, so I used the glue gun instead.
Oh, okay. Well, you did a great job. Holy smokes,
right?
That's a lot of detail.
When you do these little projects, you do find a little bit about yourself. I am certainly not a detailed person, because
But you did a great
but
job.
I know it may have turned out okay, but I find all this little finicky with my little fat fingers. It's finicky, the little things, but some people that are good with that,
Right.
small and detailed, would be better at that. But anyway, it turned out not too bad.
I think you did a great job.
Yeah,
They're
I would have
fantastic.
maybe done the belt a little bit smaller or something, but you could play around with that if you wanted to do one of these and do your own little design.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
So those are my finished objects.
And next, we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress is a pair of socks. So on our last episode, I mentioned, I showed a pair of socks that I'd made that was, they were going to be for my son in Hong Kong, and then they were too thick. So I actually sent them out to my brother, and he loves them. And I used the food saver and sucked all the air out of it, and it allowed me to ship it cheaper. So it worked really well, and he didn't say something like they've never come back to normal, so it was okay.
That's a good idea for people if you want to do that.
Yes, I know some yarn
food
companies.
saver?
Yeah, yarn companies do that a lot, and sometimes they will actually ask you, are you okay with that, or do you want the extra, because it's extra.
It's cheaper
shipping.
a lot cheaper when you do it that way.
It is amazing.
As we all know, Canada shipping is a little expensive.
So interesting, that's for sure. All right,
You're so polite. You say interesting, and I say expensive.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
it's all right. They do good work.
Yes,
but it is expensive, that's for sure. All right, so this pair of socks uses wool-free socks, so that's by Premier Yarns. And it's, once again, a new pattern for me. They're called the Vanilla Latte socks. So they've got some rib to them, and they've got some plain knitting as well. And so May's being very nice, because I'm knitting them two at a time, so it's hard for her to hold them up. So
yeah, and I'm not sure how that works.
Let's just say these are going to fall.
Okay.
All right. So we've got things everywhere.
So this is a class you took 2 at a time?
Yes. So I took that at Little Red Mitten.
Okay.
And I love it, because, as I think I've mentioned before, it allows you not to have to put little tick marks of how many rows did you do and those kind of things. So you kind of just measure them as you go. It can get a little interesting with your yarn management, but you just get it organized and away you go. And this yarn...
I can see how you could get this tangled very easily.
Exactly. And this yarn is lovely, though, because it comes in 50-gram balls.
Oh.
And because of that, then you don't have to, first of all, divide it up, your skein up into 2.
Nice.
So it's nicer, and it's a much nicer weight for Kevin. I have sent him something out of that before, and he likes them. So I'm happy with that. So that's my first work in progress. My second work in progress is something called the Rickenbacker Shawl. And that is by Kate Atherley. And I am using Zen Yarn Garden Serenity 20. And guess what's in there, May?
Cashmere.
Cashmere.
10%? 4%?
20%.
Oh. I should have known it was more. I should have. I'm only 10% cashmere worthy. You're 20% cashmere worthy. Well, I guess if you're the knitter, I'm only the knit-e, I guess.
Don't worry. We'll get her something nice. It's all good. So this is actually, I'm just going to show you, this is part of their art series. So this is by Pablo Picasso, and it is called The Dish of Pears is what it is. And the reason why I liked it, it's not super dark yarn, but sometimes you lose, I'm all stuck together here. There we go. So this is going to be nice, because with dark yarn, you want it to show something. And when you pull it, and I'll block it a little bit, then it's going to show really nicely. So actually, I had this pattern, because I'd taken a class by Kate Atherley before, and I kind of looked at her patterns. But if you see the black, it's really nice, because it's going to show that space.
Right.
So if you wear a white turtleneck underneath, it's going to be really nice. So I'm really
nice
happy
color.
with that.
This yarn is
it's
not at all what I would have thought, but it's got a little bit of
and
green
it's
in there.
really, really
nice
soft.
Color.
Yeah, I really,
and it
really
is
like
very,
it.
very soft, just saying.
So that's my second work in progress. And my last work in progress is also a Kate Atherley pattern. So it is a top-down one-piece baby sweater. And that's what it ends up looking like.
You're a Kate Atherley fan, I think.
I am. I do like how she teaches, and I like her patterns. They're really easy to understand and easy to work with, so I'm happy about that.
Does she write books? Did you say she had a book or something?
She has a number of books, which
Well,
might be in my library.
No.
So I really like that, and I can go and check things out. Now, this is almost done. Now, the yarn, I have to tell you, was a gift from somebody. So it is just an acrylic, which is great when you're dealing with baby patterns.
Oh, that's very cute.
Yes, and so it's a lovely rose, and I thought that would be really nice. So I'm on to the second sleeve. It has one little buttonhole that's going to be right at the top, and I think that's going to be easy for a little person.
Yeah, perfect.
And I really, really like it. It knits up really quickly. I'll have to do a little bit of blocking, but not too much, and I love the collar.
Yeah.
I took this class about this top-down sweater from Kate, and I said, I just want an adult one of those because I really liked how that collar sits and the fact that you just need one button at the top. And
can you do one of these?
When I asked her about it, she told me that I could take another top-down pattern and kind of adjust it a little bit, like use the number of stitches and go from there.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, so I might be able to do that. So those are my works in progress, and next we're going to talk about our adventure.
Our adventure took us to Saginaw, Michigan, which was awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
It was part of our 3,000-kilometer Michigan road trip, which was great. But, you know, when we go to these places, Colleen, we don't usually, you know, we don't embrace the community in that. We kind of just drive through. Like, we don't spend time in there, so you don't really get a chance to get a feel. We're only seeing it through the eyes of just seeing something for the first time.
Yes, I think... we were aiming for one stop in particular.
Right.
And then once actually there were a couple of places we wanted to go and embrace the outside.
Weather
So just keep
the weather was a great day.
Yes, it was beautiful.
And it was a lovely place. My first impression is it's a lovely little town. It's a 50,000 population.
Oh, great.
So, you know, it's not tiny, but, you know, it was fair enough. Mm-hmm. And there was a market there, and that's where the little yarn shop was that we went to.
Yes.
And
what was the name of the little yarn shop?
It was called the Little Yarn Shop. You're gonna trip me up here. It was a little yarn shop, but it was in a lovely space. The parking was great, and the town looked lovely. Mm-hmm. Now, back in the 19th century, it used to be a lumber town.
Oh, really?
And then in the 20th century, it changed to manufacturing because they worked with Chev parts and GM parts, and so they manufactured all those kinds of things. And then, you know, when the car industry kind of went, you know, it went through some economic changes.
Okay.
But it's revitalizing from what I'm hearing and what we saw. It was wonderful.
Exactly.
They have the art museum. They have winter festivals, summer festivals. They have a castle museum, which was the old post office, and they actually built it to look like a castle. Right. And so that's kind of neat. Yes. Saginaw is referred to in a Simon and Garfunkel song.
Really?
America. The song is America, and they reference Saginaw.
I'm going to have to listen to that song.
Yeah, me too. I haven't done that, but yeah.
So,
yes, it was lovely, and we went to the market, and you can talk a little bit more about the yarn store, but my first impression was the market was meticulous. It was so spotless.
It was beautiful.
Clean. I could have eaten anything there, by the way. I could smell all the food that they were starting out, and it was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was
so clean.
So it was really interesting because when I was kind of planning our road trip, I was trying to organize what days to hit what places, because some yarn stores, as you will know, are closed on Sundays and Mondays, or they're different times. And the little yarn shop that we went to see was open on specific days, and we timed it so we were going to be there on a Wednesday morning, and it was open. So my suggestion is, if you're going to go see it, which I would, by the way, because it's a great yarn store.
Mm-hmm. The lady was lovely.
Yeah, she was lovely. Just double check when it's open. But the nice thing is, if you go with someone who perhaps is not a knitter, and yet who is very supportive and lovely, when you go, there's so many other things to see at this market. And right now, I can imagine that market is just a buzz because everybody's getting ready for the holidays.
Right. Lots of food, lots of jewelry,
I didn't see the jewelry.
Yeah, there was lots of jewelry. We were so busy looking at the yarn.
I was looking at yarn.
The people in there were great. The customers were chatting with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely little space.
Yeah, so I'll just talk about the yarn store. So the owner is Kristen, lovely lady. They don't do online, but it's always make a phone call and see what they can do for you. As I said, they're open on market days, so you just have to check the time and date. It is bright and beautiful and organized, and it's kind of a little funky because it's in this market, so it was fun. It used to be, the yarn store used to be part of a quilt shop, and now it is just a yarn store. But
So
it's not.
was there a quilt shop in there, or did they come from a quilt shop and went there? Do you know?
And I don't have the answer to that question. So I don't know, but I know that she mentioned she used to be part of a quilt shop, and this Kristen loves mosaic knitting. And so I am just learning mosaic knitting, so I am excited about that. Once again, lots of great samples. And I think for me, when I go to a yarn store that has all these samples, it's like, I just want to make it all. Like, I don't have time to make it all, but I just want to do that. So I'm always trying to find something that I've never seen before, or a yarn that is local. And that's what happened in this case. But I'm just going to talk about some of their yarns. They have Dream in Color, Gems by Louette, Malabrigo, obviously Cascade. The nice thing, what she said is that she loves being part of the market because they get more people in that are not just knitters.
Oh, that's cool.
So somebody might have gone in to pick up something for dinner and just strolled in and seen things. So they're actually getting, they're actually inspiring new knitters.
Cool.
Because of where they are. So it was really, really good. And I loved that store. And it basically, in Saginaw, when May talks about our adventure, we kind of slept there, and then we got up and went to the yarn store. And then we were heading off on a direction. So I think you're right. I think when we do our adventures, we maybe should take the place and a yarn store and one other little thing to do.
Right.
And I think that would be great.
That would be a good idea.
Because we do have a lot of fun.
But it was a kind of a tight schedule. We wanted to cover a lot of ground on there.
Exactly, that's true.
Now, the hotel we stayed in, did we actually, I don't remember, I've got a terrible memory, but did we actually stay in Saginaw?
Yes, we stayed in Saginaw.
Okay. And it was nice and...
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. We were kind of in and then up.
So we kind of got to Saginaw, had dinner,
Yep.
then went to the hotel,
Yep.
and then got up in the morning, went to the yarn store, and then headed out again.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So that was really our experience with our adventure in Saginaw. But my first impression was it was clean and it was nice little town. It was beautiful, and parking was nice, and the market was lovely. And,
exactly. So I really liked that market. I could go back there easily.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very
so maybe
nice.
we'll go back again.
Sure.
That would be great. So that is our adventure, and next we're going to talk about souvenirs. My souvenirs are amazing. So as I mentioned, in the little yarn shop, and the shop is spelled S-H-O-P-P-E if you're looking for it, there was a sample there that I just touched. That's all it took. It was beautiful. The color was beautiful. You'll probably see why I like it. And the color was beautiful. The feel of it was beautiful. And it was a little bit more open, so it's not going to be quite as like a big winter scarf. So the pattern is Oye, and that is by Lynn D. Christina. And it is lovely. And the yarn, I'm going to let you hold on to it.
It's precious the way you're handling it. It's like gold.
Oh dear. Okay.
I'm surprised you're even letting me touch it.
I am, because you're worthy of that. So this is called Cusco Cashmere. We're having a cashmere theme today.
We didn't even realize that, did we?
No.
Now, what percentage cashmere is this?
All right. So here we go.
Let me guess. I don't know, but I would guess just by the feel of it.
Okay.
I think 55%.
Okay.
Cashmere.
So I'll talk about why you got tricked. Okay. So first of all, there's 40% silk. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it gives it the shine, which really shows off the colors.
Right.
So that's the first part. The second part is super baby alpaca. So that is the softest of soft alpaca. And that's part of the reason it's soft.
So that's not all the cashmere in there then?
No. And so now we're going to talk about the cashmere.
Okay.
And there's 20% cashmere in here.
I knew it had to be more than 10. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm gonna get emails saying,
Colleen, you gotta get me 20% cashmere here. Come on.
All right.
Work with me, people. Come on.
Okay. comment down below. And if you have something that would be nice to make for May out of something with 20% cashmere, let me know and I'll see what I can do. So I really like this. I'm looking forward to it because I am going to try and make the 2-color one, obviously. And it just feels so nice.
Beautiful.
So I'm looking forward to being able to get it started.
Yes.
So that is all my souvenirs.
Well, like you say, we were on a big road trip, so
we
couldn't
Yes.
take much more than this.
No, and it is lovely. And what happens is when we do a road trip like that, then I bag up all my purchases and I have them all set aside. So it's almost like when we're starting to do the episode for that adventure, then I get to go in and it's actually like going to the yarn store again. So I don't touch this. Well, I've touched it a few times, let's be honest, because it feels so nice. But I haven't, I mean, we were, you know, it's been a little, maybe a month since we did our road trip, and I haven't touched it since.
That's great.
So I'm really excited because once I show it to you, then I feel freed and I'm going to go and get started on it. So I'm really, really happy with it.
Now, another, just on that note about viewers and different things, another viewer had suggested that we take, like say, all the finished objects and do a video just on finished objects, and then we'll do our maybe adventure piece and do that, or
well, that's a great idea.
yeah, I thought it was a really good idea. So we may, when I get more time, maybe put that together for that. So
that
thanks
would
for
be
your
fantastic.
suggestion. I like that.
We really appreciate that you are here with us watching. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, comment down below, because we're doing the best we can with what we're doing. And if there's something you want to see, just like what you mentioned that the viewers have mentioned, let us know, because we really like doing this for you.
We do.
So until next time,
You take care.